Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Miss Mary Mac coming back to you with another video. This video today I'm talking a little bit about relationships, self-esteem, and how that affects people in the process. So today we're going to talk about good relationships and bad relationships and how your self-esteem plays a huge part in that. Just recently I was kind of asked to come in and kind of talk to someone that, was working for my husband's company, and her performance has pretty much been a little kind of, dwindling, let's say. We were just trying to get to the solution of why that is. So some of the things that I kind of wanted to sit down and talk to her about is about, just general stuff. What's going on in your life and how are these things affecting your ability to kind of do the right thing in the business? Because she really, was responsible for, leading a team of people, but yet, every day things were getting worse and worse and worse. And I was wondering to myself, what is going on? Try to ask her some questions about her own life to see how she was handling things. After having about 25 to 30-minute discussion with her, I kind of determined that she was in a very volatile relationship in which her husband or boyfriend at the time beat her down for so long. It's kind of like the only thing that she knew. And I think what makes us different sometimes is how long we're going to live in that space. And he referred to her as fatty or chubby and stuff like that, and he did that to her for years. And it kind of affected her work and her self-esteem to the point where she wasn't sure if she was going to recover. Now, relationships, they can be very difficult. A friend, a boyfriend, a husband, a wife. It's really the relationship down the road and the way you guys interact later on that's going to keep you together. Any volatile relationship is going to take a huge impact on your self-esteem, and I definitely years ago felt like what she was feeling back then. I remember being in a volatile relationship and saying to myself, how am I going to get out of this situation? And every time it got easier and easier until obviously you get married and you find that person that's a complement to your own life. You also have to have a tolerance level for what it is that you want to do. So a couple things that I gave her as far as tasks, because I noticed that when I was speaking to this employee and this bad past relationship, a big part of it was going back to try to prove to that person that she was a different person. So she was, he's got a new girl now, and it was just like, she's kind of left him, but she hasn't left him, and that was a big mental change that she needed to make. She was kind of a person that said, I'm over you, yet she spent a lot of times trying to prove to the person that she was better than who they had, or more powerful, than he thought she was, or I lost 5 pounds, she would tell him, like she needed to justify herself to him. And I basically just said, the one thing that life has taught me about a lot of these situations is, you're going forward. You can't look back because you're not going that way. You're moving forward. So what I tried to do with this particular employee regarding this relationship and her self-esteem was to go back, and try to get her to relate to something that was positive in her own life. So one of the biggest things that she talked to me about, and I was like, tell me about, when things were good with her. She used to run. And she said that she ran a lot. She was ultra fit. Now since then she's had a child. She gained a couple of pounds. She was in a bad relationship, and a lot of the things that she went through were because, she kind of let herself get kind of complacent in her current life, and then she couldn't find the strength or the self-esteem in order to move on. And I have to say, that does affect your life. It affects your everyday. It affects your ability to be able to lead others and motivate others. And, it becomes hard to take that step to get back to where you were before. So a big part of the conversation that I have with this person regarding her self-esteem is to get back to the basics. Big thing was, what's holding you back from being able to run and do the things that you really love to do. Now, it could be with anyone else. It could be running. It could be weight training. It could be playing tennis. It could be, whatever, sewing something. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's a behavior that you used to do or something that you took some sort of pride or you were happy to do and it became something enjoyable for you. I know me personally, fitness is a big part of, what I actually used to enjoy. I was a, classical dancer for 13 years of my life, and I felt like when I moved on to do other things and I kind of got involved with high school, I kind of let that kind of slide. But, the one thing I love to do is dance. I love to, just basically listen to music and be out there and just to take some sort of train dancing, whether it was Zumba or, maybe, do some weight training and some cardio classes, some really great music. And I love that. It really does make me happy. So, I try to get her to do baby steps. I said, look, you're tired. I get that. You want to spend more time with your son? Maybe running with your son is a good idea. I said, get one of those little carriers where you're, in the park and you take your son in the little carriers and you run or walk briskly for at least 20 minutes. Or start with 10 minutes to get back into that thing. So with that employee, another thing that I wanted to work with her on was basically how she handled a certain circumstance. I said in management, a big part of your job is going to be delegation. You have to learn how it is that you're going to get other people to be motivated in order to do what it is that you need them to do. So a big part of that is making sure that you are that person. You have to be that strong person that people look to in order to want to be their leader. That's what makes you different, right? So what are those attributes? We have to extract them. It's a lot easier for one who manages with self-esteem issues to want to do everything themselves. I've been in management for a very long time, and I have to say it's so much easier to do things yourself. But the bottom line is that you can't. And a big part of doubt comes with your own self-esteem and how it is that you're channeling that energy in order to get certain things done, getting certain people to see things that you need them to see. So I wanted to work on a project with her, and I had some suggestions between me and my husband, and one of the biggest things was starting your day off with something positive. A lot of the times when we get, or should I say when my husband gets a phone call from that employee, it's immediately something negative. And I said, you're going to change that. Tomorrow, you're going to change that. I said that tomorrow when you actually pick up the phone, you're going to say something positive first. And then you're going to talk about the areas that you have that need some maybe tweaking or changes. You're going to say, today was a good day. We started off with, whatever it is that got done, and I was able to manage and coach the team, basically be successful in that, and then I have some challenges. These are the challenges, but these are the ideas that I have for those challenges. So I think it's really important to just change a small mindset piece. I realized with this employee that, she had a lot of work to do with herself, and, some small little things that she was encouraged to do by my husband when he was speaking to her, as well as, get up, get dressed, do your hair, do your makeup, you're a manager of a store. Come in there feeling confident, looking good makes you feel good, and so far, so good. She's taking that message and she's kind of run with it and see what happens. I'm a big advocate of that. When I used to go on interviews, I used to say, I take pride in the way I look, and I think your clothes says a lot, about how you feel. And they were like, really? Well, how so? Because in corporate America, they're thinking about the job only. But I always believe that the way you look is if you feel like you look good and you take care of yourself and you take that extra time to make yourself look presentable, you'll feel better. It's almost like a night out. Think about when you go out and you get dressed up to go out to dinner with your husband or your boyfriend or your friends or whoever. Don't you feel good when you're dressed up in your nice outfit and you feel confident? I think that starting your day off like that is important. I have this blog. It's a small little blog that a lot of people are joining, which is very surprising. It started off as, a fitness incentive blog that I do on Facebook. Originally it was a private blog with just some people that I knew from the gym, and I started my mornings off with something positive. So what I would do is download some sort of saying and kind of elaborate on it and talk a little bit about how I can get my day started. So for example, the heading is inhale confidence, exhale doubt. I will do what it is that I want to do in life. And no one's going to stop me. Funny thing, one of my biggest challenges, and it still is, and I'm still learning. One of my challenges was talking on camera. So one of the biggest projects that I felt like I wanted to take on was learning how to overcome that. I said to myself, why not get started? Everyone gets started somewhere. So why not just learn how to be comfortable and put myself out there and see what comes out of it? And I think that it's really important with my own self-esteem, as a person, to try to overcome these challenges and take on little projects and goals in order to become self-confident. So why not? It's a project like anything else. Pick one thing, and if you can So, take one thing. It's a small thing, something that you don't feel comfortable with, and I know like mine right now, my project is learning how to speak in front of cameras and to try to maybe bring my message, because talking to people on a daily basis and getting them to be, receptive towards what it is that I'm saying is one thing, because you may get feedback, you can watch eye contact. It's a completely different thing when you're actually talking on camera. Talking on camera can be a little intimidating, but at the same time, it's not something with practice that I can't get better at. So one of my projects that I had, just because I'm all about self-growth, is trying to give back my message, but doing so not only to maybe anyone who's receiving this on the other side of this camera, but also for myself, to learn how to be more comfortable, to build up my self-esteem personally, and try to be a little bit more positive in the process. Negativity. Let's talk a little bit about negativity. Negativity is a very unique thing. We all don't want to be a part of it. I know I don't. I know I can kind of sniff out a negative person that comes in my realm. The one thing I always tell people, especially when I'm trying to motivate my team in the business that I run, is other people are going to tell you that you can't do something because they can't do it themselves. Like, it sounds good, right? I mean, makes sense, right? But it would be really crazy because, we entertain it sometimes. And then we start to self-doubt. I don't allow that anymore. I started to do these videos, and someone really close to me was, I guess I wasn't asking for an opinion, really. And I kind of was talking about it and was kind of proud of it. Because, I put myself out there and everything, and the first thing that came out of this person's mouth was immediately something negative. And I have to say, it's really hard, because when you put yourself out there, you feel extremely vulnerable. And then the next thing you know, somebody you care about, or somebody that, you care about their opinions, or someone close to you that you think would support you, completely shuts you down. And you should be doing this, or it shouldn't be like that, or this is why you don't have that many viewers. Sometimes it gets a little tough. It's one thing for someone who cares about you to give you constructive criticism. I always say with my team of people, we kind of break it down, but we build you up stronger. So there should be a good balance between the both. There should be, I loved how you handled that client. I thought you did extremely well. Use references where you're kind of dealing with the person, and you can do this in relationships also. Honey, I love you. Thank you so much for showing me that you care by doing these great things. And then, you can kind of talk about what it is that you can do differently going forward. It's always that good balance during a conversation. It's that good and that bad that need to be kind of put together in a way that makes people feel empowered, yet want to be receptive to listen to your message. It all goes back to how you interact with people, and your self-esteem does play a big part in your success as a person and how well you're going to grow. And I'll give you some examples. The girl that we were trying to motivate, even when she was walking out, she had her head down and she was kind of walking out, and my husband and I said to her, chin up, what are you doing? Walk up with confidence. When I walk around my business, I kind of just get out there and show people that you speak, you make that eye contact, you show them that you're confident. And if you're not sure, it's okay for you to say, look, I'm going to find out and I'm going to let you know. I think a big part of working on your self-esteem is being comfortable with being uncomfortable. So my big message today is, just generally relationships with people, your self-esteem and how that affects you, and taking one project at a time, taking one thing at a time, and trying to get out of your comfort zone. If it doesn't work for you or you feel uncomfortable, I really think that you can stick with it, continue to try, and don't give up. Success comes with self-acceptance. So you have to be okay with yourself before anybody else, and you have to realize that there are negative or outside sources outside of what it is that you're trying to do, and people that are going to want to take that happiness away from you. I'll do some videos also about my journey, some of the great things that I was able to accomplish based on the fact that I never thought I would, and went off to do really successful things in the process despite a lot of people and a lot of negativity. I think that you can do it if you really try and put your mind to it. I think that, it starts with one thing at a time, one step at a time, and all you need to do is stay focused, stay positive, and be your own kind of beautiful inside. Your inner outer beauty is the most important thing. Guys, thumbs up if you like my video. Please subscribe to my channel. Look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye.